Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skyazrael.com if you want life coaching and mentoring. It's Sunday morning. I want to do my study group for warriors. Let's get right into it. I have a lot to talk about. First one is just a statement. Anger is abnormal. It's not normal. It may be normal to you if you're living in a world of anger, but you're not living in a normal world. It's interesting how we can justify our anger. I used to justify my anger, and I realized that after some introspection, you just realize this like a light switch turning on. You have to think about it. But I realized that a lot of my anger was coming from a sense of self-righteous indignation, disgust. And that's interesting. Contempt. Disgust and contempt are fascinating emotions to me. You have to dive into that and be inquisitive like Sherlock Holmes and just wonder, where does that come from? You don't want to fight yourself over this. You just want to just be inquisitive. What's that about? What are you so disgusted at? What do you have so much contempt for? It's good to get to the root of the problem, and that way we can, once we identify it, once you turn the light on, you can see. Let's go to the next one. God says to kill the medium. It's part of the Bible. What is it? Leviticus, whatever it is. Kill the medium. He says something like, kill the medium who represents me. I'm not a very well-versed person in the Bible, but it says something like that. It's fascinating part of the Bible because every preacher somehow missed that part. Every evangelist somehow missed that part. And what he's talking about is you don't have a middle person. There's no middleman. When you're doing a deal out in the streets, there's always a fucking middleman. When you're dealing with God, there's no middleman. You can have a direct line, and anybody tells you that you need to go through them. Anybody who's going to say, well, let me tell you what God said. Fuck you, I'll go talk to him myself. How about that? Maybe that's what he said to you. I don't know if that's what he said to me. Nothing should be handled by fretting or worrying. Now that can be directed that could be used as a direction. I could say that as a rule, warning you. Do not handle anything by fretting or worrying, or else. Don't do it. But it's really meant to be a self-realization that I can fret, I can worry all I want about this, about the bills, about the medical diagnosis, about that conversation, but it's not going to solve anything. Nothing is handled by that. Don't be tricked into it. Don't be tricked by your anxiety. Some people think their anxiety is productive. It's not. If all you want from the search for strength, trying to get a lot of people out here to be stronger, turn weaklings into warriors, but if all you want from this search for strength is success and status, if all you want is to be the next Wes Watson or the next Andrew Tate, you want a mansion and you want that lifestyle, if that's all you want from a mind, body, and soul lifestyle, if that's all you want from leveling up, if that's all you want from going to the gym, from studying, if that's what your goal is, you're already a failure. You are a failure. You're a miserable failure in your mansion, on your private jet sitting there. You're a miserable failure. Let's go to the next one. Any energy that you use destructively is a loss. It's a loss of energy. It's a net loss. You're losing energy. You gain energy through creation. You lose energy through destruction. It's an interesting one. I had to think about this one, so I'll drop it on you. Someone who does no good is no better than someone who does evil. Isn't that interesting? Now, what does that mean? Someone who does no good. So we can think, well, if someone does no good, that means they're doing bad. So if you're doing bad, then of course you're doing evil. But that's not what this means. Someone who does no good means if you're not doing good. You cannot do good and also not do bad. You could be in that middle road. In fact, most of you are there. That's where most of you are. In this world of apathy. Sitting on the fence. So someone who doesn't do any good is also doing evil. There was a famous photo, National Geographic I think it was, of a little girl dying. It was like Sri Lanka or something. The photo came out in the 70s or something. Old photo, famous. I'm sure you've seen it before if you're interested in photography. And she's drowning in like a swamp in water. And you can see her eyes, and it's just horrifying. And she died. She died. The guy took a photo of her right before she died. And this is like a third world village, and there had been some problems there, politics, whatever. But it was horrible. But the question came out after they gave the photographer his accolades and his awards, and oh, you're the best photographer ever. That's so amazing. You're such an amazing journalist. It's so amazing that you did this. People started to question, and they started to ask, well, wait a minute. You took that photo. You had to have been pretty close, right? Why didn't you put the camera down and go and rescue that little girl instead of taking a photo of her and watching her die? Someone who does no good, who sits by and watches, is no better than someone who does evil. See if we can get through some of these other ones. How are we doing on time? We're doing all right. I know my internet advisor is already furious. This video has gone way too long. He wanted me to do 30-second videos because he thinks that that's all you guys want to digest. He thinks you guys are all stupid. That's the future. Is a world of stupidity, a world of idiots who can't digest more than 30 seconds worth of fucking material. How do we heal a broken heart and a bruised soul? Man, if I could answer that, I'd get the Nobel Prize. Well, my take on it, because I've had a broken heart and a bruised soul. Oh, God. And you can't just take a pill for it or a drug. I tried. I took all the different drugs, tried to self-medicate. Doesn't really work. You can be high as fuck and still miserable as fuck. Trust me, I know. The way that you heal the broken heart and the bruised soul is through self-love and personal development. You love yourself and you realize that fuck that stupid bitch. She may not have wanted to be with me. She may have called me all these names, but I'm a good person. I'm working on myself. I'm not as bad as she fucking said I was, or he. I do have a couple. I think I have 2 women that watch my channel, so you can switch the she's for he's. And then personal development. So you love yourself to empower yourself, but that's not just simply saying, well, I'm great, because maybe you're not. Maybe you're a piece of shit. So you have to get into some personal development. You have to work on yourself. You have to have some proof in the pudding and say, I fucking work on myself all goddamn day long, and fuck you for bringing me down. Here goes some advice someone gave me a long time. I thought this was funny, but it's true. If she lays there like a dead fish, right? You understand what I'm talking about? If she lays there like a dead fish, she don't love you. She don't love you. If she's laying there, not moving, not getting freaky, not getting into it, if it's not some kind of wild fucking scene, she don't love you. She's not into you. Let's talk about parenting a little bit. Punish your kids properly so the cops don't have to. Let's go on to the next one. It's interesting because we spoil our daughters and we're hard on our sons. Why? Why do we spoil the daughters and beat the sons? Why do we send the sons to work and let the daughters play? Why are we so hard on the sons? This is traditionally. Maybe you are not. Maybe you're soft parenting. But why traditionally are we soft on the daughters and hard on the sons? And it's because we know how hard it is to be a man. It's hard to be a man. You raise a soft boy, that little motherfucker's going to commit suicide. He's not going to be able to handle it, man. He's not going to be able to handle it. You got to raise a hard son if you want him to survive. And this brings me to the next parenting idea. I heard this podcast by two psychiatrists talking about parenting, and they got into an argument because one of them said that raising children is an experiment, and the other guy slammed his fist down and he said, no, raising children is not an experiment. And I'm with the guy who got mad. Raising kids is not an experiment. You motherfuckers who think that raising kids is an experiment want to go out there and just create your own rules. This has been tried and true. There are books about parenting. We have thousands of years of the right way and the wrong way of parenting. Go look outside on the fucking street corner with the fucking hookers and the drug dealers. That's the wrong way to fucking parent. There is a recipe. There's a right way and a wrong way to make brownies. Making brownies isn't a fucking experiment. We know how to do it. Follow the recipe, motherfucker. Got a lot more to talk about. Let me just do one more and then we'll end it. I probably lost most of you because you wanted these 30-second videos and I broke the rule. Here's a positive one to end on. Nature doesn't want anyone to be frustrated. Isn't that interesting? Frustration as an emotion. We all get frustrated. I do. Oh, I hate to be frustrated. It's not natural. That's an unnatural. I'm not saying only humans get frustrated, but it's not your natural state of being, and it's not the state of being that God intended or that the universe operates on. The universe doesn't operate successfully on frustration, on chaos, on disorganization, on fear, on anxiety, on breakdown, mental breakdown. It doesn't operate well on that. It's all food for thought. Have a great Sunday, guys.